Welcome. I'm Steve Lentz with Discover Options, and welcome to this presentation of our mentoring tour. At Discover Options, we are a subsidiary of OptionVue Systems, a software firm that's been in business since 1983, and Discover Options is the educational arm of that software company. I want to thank you for joining us. We're going to go through the mentoring program that we offer here at Discover Options. And before we dive into the website and look at everything, I just want to go over one little tidbit and just ask you why you're watching this here today. And I'm going to take a stab at answering that question. All right. Why are you watching this? Typically, and we've been at this for many, many years, and I think one of the reasons you're watching this is perhaps you are an intermediate or advanced options trader looking for a way to obtain consistent monthly returns. Time and time again, we get folks calling us saying, you know, my options trading is just sporadic. I'll buy calls here and the stock will go up and I'll make lots of money, and then sometimes I'll buy calls that goes up and I don't make any money. Why is that? Well, our mentoring program can help, and also our software can certainly help out as well. Or the biggest thing we get is that folks call and they know that they just need to be more disciplined. We read about it all the time. Gosh, discipline. Why aren't we disciplined? We definitely help you with that, and that's what a one-on-one mentoring program can really bring you. But if you're looking for monthly returns that are consistent, we offer a curriculum, an educational program, a way of educating you to get you into that mode where you're obtaining consistent monthly returns that are right around 1 to 10% or so per month. 10% or so per month. Now, we have folks calling us saying, I have to make 20% a month on my capital. That's all I got, and I have to live on this. And we have to politely say, you know what, that's really not obtainable. I've been at this a long time. Since 1983, we have talked to thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of traders, and know what's possible. We know possible. 20% a month consistently is not possible. 1 to 10% a month is, and we're going to show you how to do it. All right, we have some non-directional strategies that we have back-tested, forward-tested. We're managing money with these approaches. And roughly, here's one. Non-directional strategy number 1, 2, I'll explain where we get these numbers in just a little bit, but right around 4 or 5% or so a month for the last 12 months is what our top 2 strategies have averaged. I'm going to show you a little bit about this and where we post it within our class and everything, but we have a consistent set of trading rules that are just etched in stone, and we just monitor how well each strategy does, and we use historical data to do it. Okay, now we have our mentors that are trading these real approaches, but each client and each student tweaks it a little bit in terms of how much of their account they apply. Okay, are you going to make 5% on your account every month? Are you going to average 60% a year? No. I don't know if you're going to use all of your account on those trades or if you're going to use a portion of it. Some students, leverage up. Some students don't. Some students increase the amount of contracts on their trades as they make money in their accounts, and others don't. They just keep a steady contract size. But I want to share that with you right up front, because this is the kind of numbers we're talking about, just so you know where we're at. Okay, it's not going to be every month that you get that. Some months are going to be lower. Some months are going to be higher. You'll have a losing month now and then just because of the way the markets are, and we all understand that, right? As traders, we understand that we can have losses, but we have to manage those, and that's what we're here to help you with. All right, if you're not an options trader, advanced, intermediate, you might be a money manager. And you be a money manager simply seeking a way to increase returns for your clients. We have done very well for the money managers that have come to us seeking ways in which they can beat the S&P 500. We'll show you how to do that on a consistent basis that's been proven. You might be a money manager seeking to just get more clients and attract more clients with consistent and higher returns. And we're going to help you how to do that. We've helped others do that. And they have millions more under management now than they used to. Now that's what we addressed. Why you are here. Who are you? I make a stab at describing you, and I can do that because we've been at this since 1983, and we have a pretty good beat on the demographic of folks that are into options trading. And so I'm going to describe you a little bit. You're very intelligent and probably very well educated. Those that come into options trading are pretty smart people. And we found that, and it's pretty consistent. You're professionally successful. You've made good money in whatever profession you're in, so you're a successful individual. All right, and there it is. You made money from outside the financial industry typically. Also, you're intellectually very curious. I like to explore new things. I remember one client I had, he was every bit of 90 years old. And he options trading to keep himself mentally young. He was a good trader, but that's what we find is that folks, and you come into us and in the options trading world, are intellectually curious. Who are we here at Discover Options? Who are we? We are professional options traders and money managers willing to mentor traders part-time and on the side. And we have a mentoring team here besides myself, Steve Papali, right, Ken Dole, bottom left, Frank Fahey, bottom right. 4 of us are your mentoring team. All right, I've built the curriculum. I do a lot of presentations during the week. The other 3 are managing money and mentoring people on the side. All right, all 3 of them manage other people's money and mentor on the side, and we do this using the same approaches that we teach you. Now listen to this. This is very important. You will not find it very consistent out there that the same strategies being taught by options educators are the same strategies they're teaching that they're using to trade their own money and the money of other people. And this is what makes us very unique. So I want you to consider that, and that when you're dealing with us, you're dealing with folks. I think we have a pretty darn good, strong sense of integrity, honesty, and congruency between what we teach and what we do. All right, that's who we are. Now, I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to give you a little tour around, and just show you what we're all about. So here's the bio page, but I'm going to share with you my desktop. We're going to go here to my desktop here. Here we go. And we are at discoveroptions.com. Tab, you can see in the red up there in the top left. The Mentors Bios page, the biographies. I encourage you to go here, and you can scroll through, and you could look at my biography, Frank's, Steve's, Ken's, and this is important that you understand our biographies and our resumes and what we've done, because you will end up speaking with all 4 of us. All right, for no matter which level you obtain from us, you'll end up cycling through and speaking to me first, to Ken, Steve, and then Frank. Frank really focuses on the trading plan, and that's a very important portion here. But you can just kind of read. I've spoken all over the world, Europe, Asia, Australia, about options trading. Frank went with me to Prague, and we did a nice seminar there. Steve traveled all over the country. Ken has too, teaching people about options trading. Also, I got to say this. Have you noticed the attire? Have you seen that movie Reservoir Dogs? Tarantino. When we put jackets on and all this, the marketing director really thought this would be a good idea to kind of all look the same with these dark jackets and white. It reminded me of Reservoir Dogs, and I felt like calling each other Mr. Orange, Mr. Black, and all that. It was just kind of a surreal moment there for a little bit. But anyway, I had to say that because I know it looks a bit odd, but it does look uniform, and it speaks to the uniformity in which we teach. I think we do a good job staying on track with our students and providing some consistency. So please go to this page, take a look at the bios here, get familiar with us. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised there. Now, let's go to the curriculum. From this page, you can click on Program Outline, click on the Mentoring Curriculum tab there, or you can come to the OptionVue website and click the Education and come into this area where you're going to then see a complete description of levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 for that matter, the Futures course. Used to, years ago, a little over a year ago, but for many years, we offered just one course to students, one big fat mentoring course. And we have since carved it up, okay, so that the price point came down a little bit and that you would have your choice and you can kind of pick and choose real nicely, okay? So I'm going to walk you through each of the levels, course 1, 2, and 3. Keep in mind that, if you don't want anything from course 1, you don't need to get it. You could just work on course 2 and 3. All right? We've also done it to where if you want a few sessions from one, and if you want, say, course 3 and maybe 2 from course 2, then we'll work with you on customizing the curriculum to your interests. But in a nutshell here, course 1 is addressed to the portfolio manager or the beginning option trader, the trader that has a portfolio of long stocks or mutual funds and you want to hedge, all right, or the money manager seeking to beat the market. That's level 1 here on the left. And we go over, of course, an introduction to options, over long calls and puts and all that stuff, but we get into right away some pretty advanced approaches to covered call campaigning. We just don't do covered call rights and call it a day. We have a way of campaigning with covered calls where we're modulating the strikes that you're using, that you're selling those calls against your long stock. And so we have a very sophisticated way of doing that that's really much better than just simply always doing an at-the-money covered call or something like that. So that's you ramp up and get pretty advanced pretty quick there. We give a system for trading covered calls. We give you an OpScan formula to get some good covered call candidates. We discuss protective puts, married puts, and collars. And this is the big deal for the collars because we don't just simply collar a stock when we buy it. Again, have a way of campaigning and modulating the strikes so that we outperform the broad market in the long run and really outperform most any other normal collaring approach that you'll see. It's a pretty sophisticated approach to collaring your stocks or your portfolio, and I think you'd be very interested if that's something up your alley. We get into naked put selling, and here is something extremely consistent that you're really going to want to focus on, and we make you focus on it as a student, and that is money management. Right? Oops. Boy, it wiped out that thing, didn't it? Okay, so let me just draw a circle around it instead. Money management. And no matter which level you're on, up with the management segment here, and it's taught by Frank. All right, and listen, when you meet with Frank about money management, okay, now, just wait a little bit. He's not one to kind of blow smoke and tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to be tactful and just say that he is going to get to know you to tell you what you need to hear. And so if you're goofing up, he's going to let you know about it. And that's really what you're paying for, isn't it? Is a true mentor that's going to get to know you and tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear and give you some affirmation and all that stuff. If you deserve it, he'll give it to you. But you know what? It's important that if you're not trading well, that you understand why, and that there's someone in your corner willing to say the difficult things. You know what? You're trading too big. Okay? You know what? You're missing the rules. You made rules for yourself and you're not doing it. Why? And get right into it. Important to become a good or great trader is that you work through that process to where you're disciplined and you know yourself well enough that you know why it is that you in moments that you are disciplined, and when you get off track, what happened there? Have that self-awareness. So management's very important. Let's go back up, look at level 2 real quick. Directional trading. Directional trading. This is where we ramp up and get into the intermediate stuff with Greeks right away. We go a deep understanding of the Greeks. We do spreads now. Level 2 is about directional spread trading. Spread trading using vertical spreads, horizontal spreads, butterflies, calendars, credit spreads, debit spreads. And here's something that's quite unique. We use multiple systems to trade these option spreads in. We will show you some technical analysis approaches that are blended well with certain option spreads. And we do this both from a trend following and a counter trend approach. And they're two different things. There's trend following approaches and counter trend approaches. And you have to know which option spreads lend themselves well to each of those two approaches, okay? And then we also show you some advanced principles, well, in terms of using good modeling software like OptionVue to model different spreads and determine which is the best spread for your situation. And of course, we get into money management again as well. Now, 3, non-directional trading, and these are the approaches used by our mentors to manage their own money and the money of others. And this is where we have to get into some advanced concepts of volatility. We have our own volatility indicator that you truly developed here. We have the Lentz volatility indicator. It's built into OptionVue to help you understand what it is that you should maybe ramp up the size of your non-directional trades or cut it down, and maybe even most conservatively to not trade at all in certain markets and certain environments. Have you ever wondered about the folks that teach you that you could, if all you do is sell premium, that you're going to make money no matter what, that just by selling premium somehow magically you're on the right side of the ledger? What, in some markets, could be further from the truth. This volatility indicator and these first 2 courses up here that you see, let me take this again, okay? This is will answer for you the question, which underlying assets are best to use in non-directional trading? Okay, the condors, and we cover condors, the calendars, the butterflies. And the condors and butterflies. The 3 strategies that we really focus in on level 3. And then, of course, once again at the end, it's important that we get into money management. And thoroughly a good model for money management. That's very, very important. This is level 1, 2, and 3. Let me go to look at the perfect, okay? Now, I'll you down here. You can order all 3 of these levels, 1, 2, and 3. If you wanted the whole shooting match, we give you all of this. This would be 21 mentoring sessions. Now, let me make this clear. Okay, I didn't at the beginning. I'm sorry I didn't. What you do is you watch one segment, you do the homework, and then you meet with your mentor. Then, the next appointment, it could be that same week or the next week, you watch a presentation that we've recorded, you're given homework to do, and then you get with your mentor and go over that material, ask questions, and it takes roughly an hour to get through each phone call. Watching each session will take roughly 45 minutes, 40 minutes to an hour or so, and then you have a good half hour to an hour of homework. Now, in some of these sessions, it gets a lot more homework, especially when we teach you these strategies over here. We really want you to use BackTrader and go practice those strategies first. Okay? But watch a segment, do the homework, and then meet with your mentor over the phone. And listen, while you're over the phone, you are using WebEx, which is what we're using right now, where you're looking over my shoulder at my computer. Now, when you meet with your mentor is going to look over your shoulder at your program, at your OptionVue program, and help you out there. That's the format we do. And if you were to buy the whole thing, all 3 levels here, that would be 21 mentoring sessions that you have with a mentor in one-on-one private session. Other people are not looking over your shoulder and watching you. Okay? You can ask whatever you want, and there is no such thing as a dumb question. Believe me, we want you to ask every question you can think of when you meet with your mentor. It's very important. Okay, so that's the 3 levels. If you get all 3 at once, we give you a price break, and you can see the other benefits down here. The 21 sessions, you get a year of OptionVue, as well as a year of those other subscriptions there. Okay. Now that's the first 3 levels. Level 4 would be all of them combined. Those of you that trade futures, we've combined all that material into one futures course, in classes, and we take you from being a beginner, say, futures trader, up to advanced real quick. And we cover, again, an intro. We go volatility in the Greeks, cover directional spread trading, and then also we get into the non-directional stuff in terms of strangles and condors in the world of the futures options. So if you like to trade the E-mini options, this would be for you. If you're into corn, crude oil options, this course would be for you. All right, I rolled this out a few months ago. We're very excited about it. It's great material. Yours truly did these sessions, and there's actually those kind of ran about 90 minutes apiece. Each one of them ran really long. Okay, and I was trying to go fast. So but that's the world of futures anyway. Okay. Now let me go show you the prices, because I know you're wondering, well, how much is all this? Okay, so what you can do is once you go through, you click the button, and it comes to the screen where you can come down here and it'll explain all the prices on our website here. Okay, and there they are. Level 1, just it's $24.95. Level 2 is $29.95, $34.95 for level 3. If you buy all 3, we'll leave $1,000 off. Futures is $39.95, and look, if you buy the whole shooting match, you'll save $2,000. Okay. Now you're going. I can just see you going, wow, this is a lot. I can go over here and get something for this or that. Hey, listen, we canceled this out because and came up with these prices, and believe me, the margins to our company are fairly thin, to be quite honest. Now, why is that? Why is that? The reason is because you're getting one-on-one attention with a professional options trader, okay, and you're getting a lot of it. And you factor that in, time, also getting some of the best technology that's available to the trading public. And we penciled it out. It took us a couple weeks to come up with this pricing, and we couldn't cut it any lower to give you what you need to succeed and for us to be able to continually provide it. It's a business thing. And so these are the prices, and I'd like you to, if you have any questions about the prices or the bundling, or if you want to combine classes in one to another, we're very flexible and able to work with you on that. But I want to factor into the notion of if you're going to trade and you amount and you have a few losing trades more than you should, how much of those losing trades going to add up to? How much capital you're using, and you have to factor that in. I mean, you got to have a decent amount of capital if you're going to then justify an education like this. Granted, you know what? For a lot of people trading options, a couple losses can exceed the cost of this class easily. It won't take but a few extra losers during the year to justify, getting the full boat price here for the whole, course number 6 there. So please consider that. What your goals are, what your capital is, and then really, if you have a few extra losing trades that we could have prevented, the cost is easily justified. Okay, but that's where we're at, and I needed to point that out. That's on the web for you to look at, and we'd love to hear from you if you have any questions on, some different bundling. Now, I want to take you inside the actual mentoring classroom here, okay? Inside the classroom, and once you sign up, we give you the codes to be able to get in here and navigate around. But the first thing you're going to see is over here, Training E-Classes. Got to log in again. Just a second. There we go. When you click on the Training E-Classes, this is what you see. Now, if you've purchased all the shoot and match, then of course all of these will be activated. Now, if you've only purchased, say, level 3, then only the level 3 courses will be alive and the other ones will be grayed out. But what these are is on the left you have the links to the recordings. On the right you have the links to the PDF handout. So I'm going to click on this view. It's going to bring up the PDF, and this is a PDF of the printout. Okay, so just so you know, we do not send out a printed manual. It would be hundreds of pages if we did that. Instead, we give you several of these PDFs that you could click, and you can just either print them out or you could watch them, but you could certainly print them out on your own if you need to have notes as you watch the presentation. And then when you click the link over here, a recorded flash session will pop up, and it will then commence, with self-speaking or Steve or Frank or Ken talking here about the various topics that you see. So these are the E-classes that we want you to watch, do the homework before you meet with your mentor. Okay. Now, those E-classes. Now, there's something very important. Those of you that sign up for level 3 or the futures, we have what's called Inside Wire. Inside Wire. Now, what is this? I do a weekly session with all the mentoring students that can attend, those that are in level 3 or the futures. Level 3 or the futures. If you're levels 1 and 2, you can't really get into here because we cover level 3 curriculum a lot in this Inside Wire archived sessions here that you'll see. And one thing you'll notice here, if you look carefully, look real careful. Let me go here. Pencil here. There we go. It says Core Strategy Review for February. And if I were to go down further, it'll say Core Strategy Review for January, etc. All the way back about a year and a half, 2 years or so. What are we doing there? We're looking at the strategies that we discussed in level 3. Calendars, butterflies, the condors. And we're examining how well those strategies did for that month. And we have our core rules. We show you how to campaign, when to roll, when to take profits, when to get out with a loss. And we just examine how well those strategies did. I explained what the average returns were. And but we explore that every month. We get together, and I archive that session. We have the PDF of that session. Each one of these sessions runs roughly 30 minutes to an hour. And there's probably the better part of 200, 220 inside wires that we have archived. Now, in addition to the Core Strategy Review, make sure you see that we also cover other topics. Here's where I address the momentum divergence indicator in OptionVue. Full explained it, showed you the math, everything. Here's where I explained how to use OpScan to get a list of markets that have the tightest spreads between bid and ask. How can you model a delta-based adjustment point in the future? Okay, strategy review, where we're discussing a VIX filter, the CCI indicator, just a smattering of topics. Oh, here's a real good one. I love doing this one. Dogs of the Dow options overlay. You've heard of the Dogs of the Dow strategy? I'm giving you a Dogs of the Dow options overlay, and I'll tell you something. If you just did that, you would beat the mark huge, and you could probably manage millions of dollars just doing a Dogs of the Dow options overlay. It's amazing how that works. Okay, so this is the inside wire. What you get also is something called the morning market huddle. Depending on what level you get or combination of levels, just want to let you know I do another weekly class on Tuesday. Let's see, when is it? It's Wednesday mornings at 8 Central. Get together for an hour. We go over the broad market. It's called Morning Market Huddle, and it's not only for mentoring students, but it's for the general public, and you get a subscription for that. It's about $49 a month. We give you a break if you buy a year. It's included as part of the mentoring program. Okay, but we cover, and this is kind of the link up here. We cover the broad market, and then I give you a trade suggestion, just an idea that was very clear from working with the technical analysis signals that came out that previous day. Okay, so that's something there as well. So you get a lot when you join our mentoring class. You get 2 interweek sessions aside from your mentoring sessions. So let's think did that cover it? I think I know. Went over here, Inside Wire. On the left here, you can go to the OptionVue 6 Essentials. This page gives you Jim Graham giving you a lot more in-depth instruction in the use of OptionVue. A mentoring forum that you can go to and participate there with just mentoring students. There's a protected area for mentoring students. How many of you are into earnings? Earnings. This stock analysis report, and then I'm going to wrap it up here. Let me tell you something. Stock analysis report. This is only for mentoring students. This report will run Google. Okay. We show you earnings. We'll show you how much a stock gaps on earnings on average in terms of a percent. That way, and here's Google, it's coming out with earnings after the market closed on April 12th. Now, that way, you can ascertain whether you should do an option strategy, and we talk about that in the morning market huddle quite a bit. Earnings calendars, all right? Perhaps an earnings straddle. It just depends what the options pricing is, but you have access to this stock analysis report that, if you're into earnings, it's very, very valuable. And of course, no program would be complete without a segment on tax resources. All right? Because after all, if you really can make decent money, why wouldn't we address taxes? Taxes are very important. It's very important which underlying assets you trade. And so we just have a set of links here that you can go to and get some great information on structuring yourself in terms of legally. And we would refer you to like Bob Green. He does a great job there. But there's some IRS links as well so that you can understand what the 429 thing is and all that stuff. But that's an area that we'll just give you links to that just for you to figure that out and get that work going with your accountant. Because if you really can make the money, right, you need to address that. And this is where we do so, and we definitely recognize the importance of tax planning, and we really want you to think that through, and we give you the resources to do so. Okay, excellent. Folks, I thank you for joining us. watching the chat, and I can see here I've addressed some of the questions, I think, as I've gone along. I want to thank you for joining us here today. I want to wish you good luck in your trading. I want you to give us a phone call. Look, you can call me. You email me at the address there, or if you call and I'm not here and you want to talk to someone, ask for one of the product support consultants. They would be glad to speak with you. Take care. I hope to hear from you very, very soon. Bye-bye.